What's up out there, YouTube? Double D here with Turnage Dubois. Welcome back. It has been a while since I have been in the shop due to the winter work, all sorts of fun things. But I have this amazing Sycamore Burl that I am looking to do a side grain hollow form. So I want this to be the bottom, this part to be the top, and we'll get some of that good burling scene in there. Really hoping that this turns out the way I'm envisioning, but that's what I'm going for. I do have to be careful of the pith on both sides of this, just in case. There's a little bit of a bug trail through this one, so we'll see. We might get some natural inclusions in there, but we're gonna take our time, make sure we do this right, and go from there. On a side note, I did just get notified today that I got accepted into the Mulvane Art Show again, so this will be my third time there, so really looking forward to that. It's an amazing show, so if you are in the Topeka, Kansas area in June, then come by, see some amazing art, and say hello. At any rate, let's get rolling. Hey everybody, welcome back. Obviously I'm not in my shop, I'm at my buddy Daryl's shop. So ran into an issue with my hollower, wasn't quite working the way I wanted to, kept adjusting itself, which is never a good thing. And I haven't been talking a lot because obviously I haven't been in the shop for a while with winter weather and work related items. So focusing on the quality of the work that I do, plus with my respirator, I'm trying not to talk too much because some of this is some spalting. So I have his hollowing system we're using here. This is the center hollowing system. We've got a camera set up, so this will be a little bit different than what I am used to doing, but we're gonna have a little bit of shots of working on this, and then we will be back in my shop later to do the sanding and the finishing. So we'll catch you again in a couple of minutes. All right, we are back in my shop. I didn't take a lot of video over at my buddy Daryl's house just because I was really focusing on getting that inside cleaned up. But we're going to use our sanding sealer. So our Mylans, that'll help with this little bit of punky area right here on the end grain. And it'll just clean this up real good so we can get a really good sand out of it. So really excited about how this is going to look. But this, with the sanding sealer, it'll give us a little bit of a start as to what it might look like once it is finished, depending on what finish I'm going to use. Those of you who've watched my channel for a long time probably know what finish I'll use, but we will see because I'm still toying around with a couple of different ideas. I just want to do this sanding sealer though before I start doing any of the sanding, just because I think it's going to get a little bit better finish, keep it smoother, and keep the good coloring that we want to see, but help out with any of this tear out and end grain that we have where it's a little bit softer. That burling is just beautiful. I showed pictures to my wife and she immediately said it looked like a brain. So this is definitely going to be called the brain burl. Let me know what you think it looks like down below in the comments. One other thing that I did do off camera is I put this little burn ring right here around the middle part, just to give it another little accent feature. I think that that really looks pretty sharp and helps bring a little bit of focus to the nice burling on the top of the piece. Let me know what you think down below. You think I should have done that, or should I have left it plain? I really love how the burling really stands out with this. When I put this sanding sealer on it, it's really making it pop. I don't know, to me this little crown raised piece makes it feel a little bit more rustic and original, whereas that black ring gives it a little tiny, I don't know, touch of class, so to speak, or I don't know, just to me it makes it look more formal, I guess is about the only way I can put that. I don't know. Like I said, leave your thoughts down below as to what you think of it. Always open to feedback. Never hurts my feelings. All right, we're going to let that dry up, and then we will start the sanding process. So, see y'all in a bit. All right, welcome back, everybody. We got our sanding sealer on. So now we're going to be sanding. You can see the tool marks right along here, right along here. So we're going to start sanding with 80 grit. We've got some tear out down here just because of the softness of the wood. And then down here on this end, We got a little bit of punky area there as well on that end grain, so we're gonna have to be super careful. Want to get all these marks taken out, so it's going to be a long sanding process. And of course, there are holes in through here, so there's an inclusion on this piece that goes through the base that's going to go all the way through. This goes through and that goes through. So when I blow air in, you can see that dust come out that top section. So that's exciting. So that's really exciting to me, because obviously it keeps it completely natural. But let's get to sanding. And we are back. We have that sanded at 320 grit. So now we're going to put on our denatured alcohol. Those of you who have watched my videos for a long time know that I do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, to clean the grain up real good. That way we get a good look at everything that's going on in this piece. And that is absolutely spectacular. But the other thing it does is it stands the grain up just a little bit, so we can get a little bit better sand on this. With one more grit at the 400 before we do any abrasive paste and things. So just get this cleaned up a little bit, take a look at what's going on within that graining, get an idea of what it'll look like, but then we'll knock this back one more time and start with our finish process. I just think that this looks spectacular. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. A little bit of spalting going on. We've got all that magnificent graining. Just beautiful. I draw a lot of inspiration from Phil Anderson. So I tried to emulate some of his things where he leaves that live edge right in here, just that beautiful live edge. Put the little crown on it, beauty ring, you know, anything to accentuate the piece, just make it look amazing, but remind everybody of what the natural look was. So hopefully I did it proud. We will just keep right on going with our process. And we're going to use our abrasive paste from Brad's Workbench. If you've not tried this, I have a link to his Etsy store down below in the description. If you use the coupon code DD10, you will get a 10% discount on your purchase from Brad's Workbench. Definitely try out his abrasive paste and the finish. Tung wax, the Tung honey finish, both of those. I don't have enough good things to say about those. I've used them for a long time. They're just absolutely amazing finishes. So if you're looking for some, go give it a try. Using this abrasive paste, you can start to see that color just come out in the wood. It's just going to start soaking in, start helping with that finish. Give it some really good color saturation, but it's also going to, it'll knock it back a little bit further even, because this is the equivalent of around 1200 grit. So just help give it that ultimate super smooth finish that we're looking for. And we are going to use our Tung honey finish from Brad's Workbench. Like I said previously, there's a description to his, or a link to his store down below. So definitely go check it out and use that coupon code DD10 for a 10% discount. So I'm just going to put this on nice and liberally. It'll soak in for the next day or so. I will let it set for at least 24 hours. Let it soak in real good and just really adhere into that wood, and then we'll buff it off a little bit by hand, and then we will be done with this piece. I'm thinking this looks absolutely stunning, but I mean, that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I'm calling this the brain burl. It started off looking kind of like a brain, and the swirling in this grain and that burl looks like what pictures I've seen of brains. So I'm gonna stick with it. I like that for it, in my opinion. Like I said, this is going to sit for at least 24 hours. If I need to put a second coat on, I will. I don't think that I will have to, but we shall see in a bit. So I will see you all tomorrow. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that project where we took that Sycamore Burl and we turned the hollow form. So this is a pretty nice sized hollow form. Really love that graining in the burl. Kept the live edge in some of the areas, of course. Put the little ring or crown on it and the beauty ring on the top. As you can see, if I hold this at the right angle, there is some light that you can see through the piece from this inclusion that goes all the way across the bottom. These are also open through to the piece. Hollowed out really nicely inside. My friend Daryl, thank you for letting me use your shop and showing me how to use your hollowing system when mine didn't want to cooperate. Finished in the Tung honey from Brad's Workbench, so definitely go check out his Etsy store. And just had a lot of fun. Really, I really like this piece. Just came out exactly the way I envisioned it with the side grain hollow form. If this is your first time here, please do consider subscribing. If you like the video, mash the thumbs up. If not, mash that thumbs down. But leave your comments, feedback down below. I appreciate those. I read every one of them and I do respond to them. And that's what helps me grow. At any rate, we're going to get going and we'll catch you all next time.